welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Chatting With, an interview series where I talk to my friends who have awesome careers and who are super interesting, and I am so excited today to have Sarah of Curvily on the show.
Hi!
And Sarah, how do you say your last name?
Chiwaya.
Chiwaya.
Yep.
Okay. I almost want to say Chihuahua. Like I get so close to Chihuahua and then I correct myself.
Yeah. My husband, it's my married name, and my husband said that was the thing as a kid, Chihuahua.
Right. I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your crazy schedule to meet up with me. I've really wanted to bring you on to the show and to this episode because I'm so excited to hear about your journey and your experience as an influencer, and especially talk to you about plus size market and plus size blogging and all of that. Awesome. But to start off, why don't we tell everyone how we know each other?
Yeah. So just a lot of fashion week shows. I think that's really, there was a point where, I think it was through Vanessa.
That sounds right.
So through Vanessa Powell, but we were just seeing each other at all these shows and we were both talking to the same person, and then we were like, oh, hey, hi again, all day. And so I was just like, all right, now we're friends, I guess.
It's true, you know, before like you started going to Fashion Week and before your blog and everything, like, can you tell us a little bit about what life was like for you before all of that, and then like the beginnings of Curvily?
Okay, so something that a lot of people don't know, they don't talk about a lot, is I'm actually a lawyer. So I moved out to New York for law school, and I was working at a big firm, and I actually discovered plus size fashion through my wedding photographer. She had a blog, and she posted the Curvy Blogger, which was, I don't know if she's still blogging anymore, her name was Mandy, I think, and I was like, wait, there's this thing called Curvy Blog? Like, there's Curvy blogging? What is this? I didn't know there was a plus size fashion blog community at all. I didn't even know it was a thing. I've always loved fashion. I was literally like a child who was a 5-year-old saying, I'm gonna be a lawyer and a fashion designer, like, as a 5-year-old. So
Elle Woods.
Yeah, pretty much. And I pretty much dress like Elle Woods inadvertently today, but
this is such a snatched look right now. Like, I love it.
No, it's really fun. I'm all for a statement suit. It's one of my favorite things. Also, we did not plan this.
We really didn't.
Moment,
I opened the door and I was like, same.
Basically, I found this community of like really cool, fashionable plus size women, and I'd never seen representation in fashion that looked like me. I always loved fashion, but as soon as I like hit puberty and like went from like being a beanpole to being like a curvy girl and like chubby, I stopped thinking that I could be part of fashion, because like all you see in fashion magazines is one type of person. It's tall, thin, and usually white, and that's it. Especially like the 90s and like aughts, like that was what was there. So I was like, okay, I love fashion, but like from afar, it's something I could like look at but not be part of. And all of a sudden I'm seeing all of these women who are part of it, and they're making a place for themselves and like wearing these amazing looks and just like expressing themselves through fashion. It was like an eye-opening moment for me, and it kind of changed how I felt about myself. And I didn't even realize it when it was happening. I was like just seeing the beauty in all these other women. I was like, oh my god, she looks so amazing. Oh my god, yes, I love that outfit. And without realizing it, it helped me change how I felt about me. And I literally went from like hating, so the kind of epiphany moment for me was the first time I saw my wedding photos. I was like, everything's great, everyone's beautiful, I look fat. And that was the only thing I could see. I could just see, oh my god, I have a double chin from smiling so hard in this photo, or I'm squeezing my husband so tight that my arm looks fat. And that's all I could see. I was like picking myself apart. And in retrospect, it's like so silly. I'm looking at these happy moments and seeing just this negative things and seeing just like parts of my body instead of seeing the whole picture. But
that's all that had been projected from society, if you want to call it that.
No, totally.
Until you discovered this community.
Yeah, that's all I had seen, like a lifetime of messaging for that, and especially like wedding messaging in particular is really
all the like
rough.
Diets.
Yeah,
and, like,
shedding for the wedding, everything like that.
Yeah.
I was disordered eating like really hard for like through the lead up to my wedding, and it was the only time I lost weight was when I shattered my elbow while trying on a wedding dress, which is a story for another day because that's long. But yeah, no, like, and that's the only time I lost weight, and then I gained it back as soon as I stopped like throwing up from surgery, you know. So I felt like I failed, and I was like, oh, I felt horrible. I was looking at my wedding photos, and then so that was the first time. Fast forward like 4 months later, after I started following all these amazing women, I look back on those same photos that were like really hard for me to look at the first time, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make an album. It's like 7 years later, I still haven't made an album, but whatever. I looked at those same photos and I was like, oh my god, I look so happy. And that's what I saw. I saw that like, I saw that I looked happy. I saw that I was like smiling so hard because I was marrying this person I love. And I thought I looked beautiful, and I did not think that the first time. And it was really just kind of changing what I was like my media diet, I call it, like changing what I'm looking at, changing what my feed looked like changing what I was taking in, and that changed how I felt about myself. So that was like my oh my god, this is real, this is major. So that's when I decided to start a blog. But no, I was taking like outfit photos against the wall. It was very like low quality, low budget, but it was just like a part to kind of continue that representation and being another person who was doing it. There weren't that many plus bloggers at the time. There was a good group of people like Gabby and Nicolette who have been doing it for a while, but there was not a ton. Now there's many plus bloggers, and I love that. But yeah, at the time it was like there was like a handful of people who are really active, so I was like, I want to be part of this and I want to keep pushing this forward.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for sharing that story, because I feel like obviously that was a very vulnerable time, and like it marked a major shift just in your mindset and like how you perceive yourself, because you started seeing that same like positivity, like body positivity mirrored in other women. And I think that's honestly so powerful, especially when you think about how large social media has gotten, and like how many people look at it every day and are, whether or not they realize it, are like influenced, you know, by these images and by what people are putting out there. So thank you for sharing that. And then the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is, you know, you always said this wasn't intended to be the career, and it was kind of a side project or something that you were just doing as a creative outlet, because as you said, you've always loved fashion.
Always,
it was a great way to just, you know, have a photo shoot, like have fun, like snap some photos. So at what point did you start to take it more seriously, and then at what point did this become like what you do now?
It was probably about like 3 years ago that I started taking it more seriously, and even then I didn't even think about it as like, I'm going to take this seriously so I can leave my job. At that point I was at a different job and I really liked it, but I just was like, this is something that I could see I'm building this business, and I started making money from it, and I started putting more of my own money into it, investing into it. So it's like, it became a real business for me. And but it really hit the point where, and it'll be about 2 years ago now, like soon, that I've been doing this full time, where it's like, okay, I have so much on my plate. There's no way I can do this and do my job effectively. And I liked my job, and I still like enjoyed the company and everything, but it was one of those things where it's like, this is a thing I built for myself. I've created this thing, and I frankly never had a goal of being an entrepreneur at all. That wasn't something I ever wanted. I grew up really poor, so I always was like, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get a great job, I'm gonna make money.
And like work your way up.
Yeah, work my way up, but like salary, have somebody else, like I want salary, I want benefits, I want all of that, because like that wasn't something that we really had in our life. It was just me and my mom. And she worked so hard. It was absolutely wonderful to make sure I had a good life, and like, but it was really hard. It was just her. So like, and that's what she wanted for me too. And so that was something I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. That's security, that's stability, that's what I want. Like if I was gonna do a job for money, I would have stuck with being like a full-time lawyer.
For sure.
Like a lot easier to get even the cool things I'm doing. I could have just paid for it, but I wasn't as happy. Whereas like every time I get a message from a woman saying, oh my god, I wore my first like skirt in 35 years, from an older woman told me she wore her first skirt in 35 years because of me.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
Not gonna cry, I have makeup on.
No.
But yeah, no, but like these type of things, like to be able to do that for all sorts of women, that's like so rewarding in a way that the big law job wasn't. So.
And isn't that so weird how just like you living your own life like happily like did that for someone else, and like I feel like people think there's some big secret to it, and I feel like it really just has to be like an internal thing where like you find what makes you happy, and you find like the chance to like share it with other people. And so that's sometimes like the best thing you could do for someone.
Oh my god, totally. And it's because I know that from personal experience, because that was what did it for me.
Yeah,
exactly. But like to know that I can be that for other people is really, really fulfilling and like rewarding. And every day, like I get messages like that, and it just is like, okay, the hard parts, everything like that are so worth it, because I get to do that for people.
Yeah.
And I get to talk about fashion, so it's like a win-win for me.
Definitely. So speaking of like loving talking about fashion and all of that, you and I have both been doing this for a little while now, but obviously in the last couple of years there has been such a blow up of everyone is a blogger, or like everyone wants to be an Instagram influencer, all of this stuff, and it's obviously clear why the lifestyle is appealing. Like there's fun events, there's working with brands, there's, you know, getting free product, and sometimes even getting paid to post about brands. And I feel like not everyone fully understands just the whole, how much of an actual grind it is all the time. Like most days, like you know, we're sitting at a laptop, we're not doing hair and makeup, like we're reading through contracts, we're doing things. So like, how do you like approach the work that you do? Like, and you know, how do you kind of, I feel like everyone just wants to know like, how can they start working with brands and like get to that point? And if someone is like starting off small now and like wants to get to that point, you know, can you just talk a little bit about your journey with that?
Oh, totally. So like I said, I started with mine through Tumblr, and but even after I got my .com like a year later, it took me from that a good year and a half before I got my first like free dress. And it's funny because everyone's like, I think there's this idea of like getting free stuff, and it seems like this very, like you said, very glamorous, and there's a lot of really cool and very glamorous aspects of it, to be sure, and I'm super grateful for those, that I get to be part of that.
Yeah, like even every time I attend Fashion Week, like I've been before, but I still get the little like tingle that's like, oh my god, 14-year-old me would be dying if she knew I was at Fashion Week right now.
Same. That's one of those things where I'm always like, oh my god, I didn't even think I would ever go to Fashion Week. Like it didn't seem like a thing, and I've been backstage. I walked in a show last season, which is wild, 2 seasons ago now, which is wild. Like these are things I never thought that I'd even be adjacent to, so to be able to be an active part of it is so cool, and I'm super grateful for that. But yeah, it took years of work to get to. So like that first dress that took like a year and a half of work, I call it like the most expensive dress in my closet, because that, if you think of like the hours that I worked to get there, and just like the at any reasonable hourly rate, that would cost thousands of dollars, you know, like because just to get to that point of getting that first free dress. And then it took me a while to get from that to get paid posts, and it took a lot of negotiation, and I had to turn down, I've turned down things that are like disrespectfully low. That happens frequently. And I'd also turn down things that are not true to my brand. And I think that's one thing that's really important for people who are starting out. Don't accept just anything. And I know it's hard to turn down money, and this is, like I said, I grew up super poor. I definitely have that mindset where I'm like, need to get that money, and like that's something I always consider. But I can't get that money at the cost of my own values. I can't do it at the cost of like being true to myself, because then my readers don't trust me, and that trust is the most important thing. So like as far as advice, I'd say like, do what feels right, do what feels real to you, always, like always, that's the most important thing. Make sure you are being authentic to who you are, to what your values are, to don't, like for me, I'm super body positive. I'm not working with flat tummy tea. They keep trying. I'm not gonna work with you guys, sorry. Like, and that's not body positive to me. Like, and they're like, oh no, we're body, like no, it's not body positive.
Like, you are, really?
I've had times where I've signed a contract with a company, but I include a part of that contract that's like, if I need to back out for whatever, for quality reasons or anything like that, we have those clauses in there. So I can, or I'll just be like, hey guys, this is my, I always say I'm going to be posting an honest review, and I'll say, this is my honest review. I could post this, or we could cancel this contract and you can refund me the money. Those are the options, because I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say something that's not accurate, because then my readers don't trust me. And
good for you with your law background, getting those clauses in those contracts. Like, no, for real though.
No, that's definitely, it's something that's very useful to me. It's like, it's not intuitive. It's not something that people know naturally.
Well, and readers are smart also. Like, I feel like if readers can tell right away, like if you are just, at least to me, like I love working with brands that I already use. Like I love going to a brand and being like, hey, I've already posted about you 10 times. Like, you know, whenever I'm in a vlog or doing things, like if people don't see me using what I'm talking about, like they're gonna know that I'm not like really doing it. And I think what you said about being true to your brand and like what you believe in is probably the best thing you could tell anyone.
Totally. And I think the posting authentically, I think that's, if you're looking to make connections with brands, use the things that you want to use, things that you love, and tag them. Just do it at like, not everything I do is sponsored. I don't want everything I do to be sponsored. I want to, because I'm going to continue to live my life and like, again, recommend the things that you really love. But yeah, I've ended up connecting with brands that way and starting partnerships, just because I'm like tagging this coffee shop that I love, or I've gone to restaurants, or I've tried on clothes, and then I end up connecting with them through there. So just do the things that really appeal to you. Be honest with your readers all the time. I think that's super important. Like you said, readers are smart, and I know I have a really intelligent group of women who read me, and I love that. So I want to make sure they know I'm always being real with them and always being honest, and they know the recommendations I'm going to give them are quality. Sure. And because of that, I'm a really good partner for brands, because women buy what I recommend, because they know I'm wearing it, I'm recommending it personally, they know it's real. And they also can connect, like, the other thing that I do these like in the fitting room things.
I was just gonna say, if you're not following Sarah on Instagram, and obviously all of her links will be down below so you can find her wherever she goes. I love her in the fitting room series because it really does, well, like as a plus shopper, it gives you a chance to see what's actually in the store versus what you think is going to be in the store, because I know that is a huge issue for women shopping plus. And then the second thing is you can really like talk through the fit of it, and I think that's what people love to hear and appreciate.
My favorite review, one of my readers said, I'm like their personal Cher Horowitz to Jill closet.
That's amazing and true.
But yeah, I like talk about the fit. I talk about, like, I'll say, hey, this one's like, I'm a size 16, 18, but this one I had to size up to a 20 and there's no stretch to the bust, whatever that case may be. And then you can just see it. I'm 5'4", I'm like hourglass, but I have a belly. I'm not the traditional model. Like most models, even plus models, are like 5'9" up, if not more. And so that's it, which is, they're gorgeous. I love my plus model babes. This is no shade at all, but like I'm average height. I'm 5'4", so that's going to be, a lot of people are going to resonate. That's going to resonate with them a little bit more because they know it's not, they're not going to put this dress on and it's going to be like at the floor. If it works for me,
it is just like a friend giving their feedback and their advice.
Yeah, totally. And I love that. And people chat with me about it. The responses I get in my DMs are amazing. And then I get the pictures of women wearing the dresses because they saw me in it. And it's so fun. It makes me really happy.
You and I were talking off camera before we started this about, in the past few years, how much progress has been made, especially in the plus market in terms of options. So would you mind sharing a couple of your favorite brands that you love shopping with everyone?
Totally. Yeah, so I've been doing this for, gosh, it'll be almost 7 years, which is wild.
We should have a joint birthday party.
I think you've actually been doing it a little bit longer than I have.
This June.
Mine will be in December. So it's like, but yeah, no, it's been a while. And when I first started blogging, there were about maybe 5 brands that I wanted to shop. 5 total. And as a shopper, someone who loved fashion, that was really hard for me. And it was something that was kind of contributed to a lot of my negative feelings about myself, because there was this idea of like, now I've gotten too fat for the cute clothes, you know, like, and it took me disordered eating to stay under a size 14, because my body does not want to be a size 14 or a size 12. My body wants to be a 16, 18, unless, like I said, I have like a drastic accident where I can't eat for a month. I'm going to be a 16, 18, like, and that's what it is. But like trying to get to a different shape to fit in clothes was something that's really bad. Not clothes should fit you and not vice versa. First of all, I started this hashtag, it was actually 5 years ago now, called Plus Size Please. And it was basically like, hey brands, let us give you our money. Which
is so smart, because as we've seen, plus, like, it works.
Yeah.
People buy it because they want options. Like, that's why Christian Siriano has seen so much success, and like other similar brands. It's because people want good quality high-end clothes, but they need to fit people.
No, totally. And it's wild because it's bad business, honestly, because in what other market segment would they be like, what you should do is pursue the smallest market that's the most oversaturated. Which is what straight size fashion is. It's the least populous market. It's 30-ish% of the population versus 70-ish% of the population, which is size 14 and up. And if you go down to size 10 and up, it's like 75% of the US population. So why would you want to go after 25% of the population that already has thousands of options if you could serve a population that's larger and more populous and has more growth potential with less options?
I hope if any brands are watching this, just that, you know, I understand that there's a process to expanding sizes. One of our favorite brands, I can say our favorite brands now, DL1961, has recently expanded to inclusive sizing for a couple of their main styles. And like, even they're starting out with those 6 styles, I believe, right? And then they want to branch out from there, but at least it's a start.
Yeah,
you know?
and so I actually do consulting for brands that are moving into plus, because it's not something that's taught in school. Like fashion school does not teach plus for the most part. It's not something that people have a background in. A lot of media doesn't have a lot of plus fashion coverage. It's just starting to happen a little bit more now. So it's not something that's intuitive for people, but I've like been in this for a while, so I can help brands kind of like navigate that. And like, don't call them real women. We're all real women. Don't use the real woman thing.
Checking my pulse.
These are investments that you need to make, but they're not insurmountable at all. So I'd love to see brands really answer that kind of call for plus size please. And there's so many brands that when I started that hashtag did not have plus. And some of them responded directly, and some of them have just over time, answer that market demand. And it really makes me happy to see, because there's been everything from, so when it first came out, it was like 5 years ago, and then like 4 years ago it ended up going viral on like BuzzFeed, and the New York Times wrote about it first, but then BuzzFeed was the one that had the biggest push, which was funny. From like a journalism perspective, it was like the Times, and it was like cool, and then BuzzFeed was like BuzzFeed really hit it. It's like very different times even now than it was then. But
that was
like,
probably in the BuzzFeed peak too, of like 2014, 2015.
That was one of my biggest growth times for my blog, because it was just like people were just pouring in, because it was a message that resonated with a lot of people, like let us shop, let us like be part of this market. We want to spend and we want to buy things that we like. Honestly, these options didn't exist in Plus when I started. Like it was very like cover that up, hide this, flatter that, you know, and like sometimes I want a flattering like little black dress, but sometimes I want to wear bold, interesting stuff. Like, and that's the thing, the Plus market is just as varied and diverse as the straight size market. They're just like, you're not gonna have the same customer who's buying Helmut Lang and Talbots in straight size. Those two girls exist in Plus too. They're just, their bodies are just different sizes. That's really it. So yeah, plus size is not a monolith. There's all sorts of plus size people who make clothes for everyone. You'll make money.
Yeah, for real. We're actually like halfway almost through 2019.
What?
Crazy. So I would love to hear, you know, what's something you've done in the first half of this year that you're really proud of, and then what else, like what are your goals for the rest of the year?
I think it's really just kind of, it's not like one big thing, but it's like a cumulative thing. I really just continued making connections with designers I really love and care about, and like that kind of like plus size please like fulfilled like brands that are really answering that and working with them. So like I've gotten to know Cynthia Vincent, who's like a designer I've literally admired for years, and now I know her and I can talk to her about fashion. And it's just really nice to see this kind of like real respect and like commitment from really amazing designers. And like Becca McCarran-Tran from Cormat is like somebody I know and like really love too, and like to be able to have these connections is amazing. And it's like, again, kind of that thing we were talking about earlier, like looking like 14-year-old me would be freaking out. Like,
oh, for sure.
Can you, like, I literally never thought I had a place in fashion. I didn't think I fit in fashion, literally or figuratively. So to be able to forge these really great connections with designers and kind of work behind the scenes as a consultant with these amazing brands and like push the industry forward, every time I'm able to do that, it feels really good. And so it's like I have that behind the scenes like work that I'm doing for the community, and then I also have the like front facing blogger stuff that I do where I get to like connect with people. So that all together is like my big thing. It feels really good. It's like I'm doing the right thing, I'm on the right track, and I'm like making these really like concrete impacts on people's lives. And
that's so casual. That's so cool.
No, it makes me so happy.
As like a New Yorker and as a fellow freelancer, I know that we occasionally like to plop down in a cafe with the laptop, get some stuff done. So I was curious if you had any like recommendations or favorite spots that you go to.
There's one that I almost don't want to recommend because I don't want people to go to it.
You can skip the
really good
ones if you want.
I'll give you guys, I've not even shared this on my own blog, but this is exclusive for you guys.
Keep calm and chiffon exclusive.
It is. So there's this place called Paper Coffee at the Main Hotel in Midtown. It's on 29th
I've been
Street.
there.
It's so
I haven't brought my laptop yet.
Oh my gosh.
I had a meeting there.
No, I went there once for a meeting and that's how I found it. And it's like, it's a hotel lobby, so it's like very chill. It has all these couches. The coffee is really good. And you can have, there's outlets and stuff, and you can just sit there and it's very nice. But yeah, don't tell too many people. Like keep this amongst ourselves.
This is the inner circle.
It's really good.
And then is there anything, I feel like you share a lot on Instagram especially, but I was gonna say, is there anything that we might not know about you from social media?
Oh, I'm from Michigan. There we go. I'm a lawyer and I'm from Michigan. Yeah, I'm a native Midwesterner all my life until I moved out here.
Are there any words that you say differently? Like, or have you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
My husband thinks I do, but I can't think of any of the words.
Well, I'm from New Jersey, and every once in a while I'll say like dog or like what, like it'll just be slight, and I talk fast enough that I feel like it doesn't get caught a lot of the time. But even just like dog or water, like every once in a while the more drawly part of it comes out, and you're just like, oh, my Jersey's showing. And is there anything else you want to share with us or plug anything you've been working on lately, other than everyone be sure to follow the hashtag plus size please. You can follow it on Instagram. It'll show you like a couple of top posts.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I like, I don't have anything, like, there's some articles coming up that I'll be posting on Insta and everything. And I'm going to be speaking at Indiana Fashion Week, which is pretty cool. Speaking of the Midwest, they're having like their inaugural Fashion Week, and for Malice is like the main honoree, and it's going to be like this really cool like thing.
For Malice is a big deal. For anyone who's like, who was that?
She started in New York.
That is not a plant. That is a woman.
No, she started New York Fashion Week. She's an icon. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. Say hi, and literally, if you have shopping questions or any questions, like reach out to me. I love chatting with people. As long as you're not a creepy dude, I'm here to chat with you. So.
Yes. And as I also love chatting with people, I just wanted to thank you again, Sarah, for taking some time to come and chat with everyone today. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. If you like my channel, be sure to subscribe. New videos every Monday and Friday, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.